Be an expert in my field, be enthusiastic, and be that source of knowledge that people want to, they want to get.
Right. Hi, and welcome to Kelly, where we talk about life, your life, and my life. And through Kelly, we hope to inspire. I have Mac Ruiz on the show today. Mac is a DP, and we're going to talk about filmmaking. We're going to talk about your journey and your experience to help others through their experience. So, Mac.
Hi, how are you doing today?
So, how did you get into what attracted you to filmmaking?
Hanging out with friends, I was like, I want to get a camera to just document the journey. Document what I've got going on. And I was just taking photos and then grow out of cameras into different things. And I was working with I had a goddaughter that was going to a cheer gym.
Okay.
And that, basically this was where it started my whole film thing, or just shooting any kind of video. Her parents couldn't afford to pay her tuition.
Okay.
And so I negotiated, through a business deal that I would shoot videos for them to pay her tuition.
Wow.
And that began it. And that was a many year process that turned into, from just doing that, into shooting multiple gyms across the West Coast and working for Varsity All-Star. It got me in front of a lot of affluent parents and other people that were in businesses, a variety of things. I started shooting for LA Fashion Magazine, got connected with one of their photographers. Him and I went on, the road doing runway events. And that connection of just seeing people, being in front of different people, started networking with all these different people, making phone calls across the country. And that's kind of how my film start began.
Right.
That led me into shooting, my first feature, which I was an AC.
Okay.
And not the DP or anything like that. It was just, I was trying to get into the film industry. I was like, just keep diversify, try to open up as many different doors so that way you can survive while chasing creative.
Yes, and that's so important. Let's talk about the business of filmmaking, because like actors, we stress that if you are an actor, a career actor, you are a business. And so there's certain things that you have to do to market yourself and to make yourself more open to the film industry. You have to offer something.
Right. So, across the board, whether you are a crew starting off as a PA, you're a genie, you're beginning in camera, you're a DP, director, and this affects producers just as much, if not more, than all of the above. The higher you're at, the more you are expected to have a business prowess. Actors also don't fall short of that. Once you get to a certain point and you're beyond the free projects, which can still get hard to get on.
Yeah.
Actors and actresses they're casting and then they're getting turned down and the project doesn't even pay, and you start questioning yourself, why am I getting turned down on a project that's free? It becomes about everything results down to, in the end, money. This whole business is revolved around it. So, it's kind of a side anecdote to that. Is like I'm working on a pre-production for this film where the investors don't want to invest till the producer has distribution. The distributors don't want to give you distribution till you have a lead actor that can guarantee sales.
Yeah.
And the lead actor doesn't want to take it till you have investors.
So you're constantly going, whoa, who's going to bite? Who's going to bite?
Before the egg type thing. So you're literally, this business is not so much about creative as it is about sales.
Yeah.
It's, can you sell yourself convincingly, usually to like an investor or to producers that are already established, that I can do this. Yes, I am going to be aggressive. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to be be an expert in my field, be enthusiastic, and be that source of knowledge that people want to, they want to get.
Right. Yeah. It's so important with just realizing that you aren't discovered. You're discovered through people where you've worked to a certain level that people go, oh, he's doing so-and-so. I would like to get to know him. But you have to have something to offer before you become marketable in any field.
Absolutely. I mean, that in a nutshell is that. I mean, that's it right there. Is, you know, I'm going to take it from like the DP's perspective, which you could apply that same perspective, just change it from DP to actor, change
And
it from actor to, you know,
tell people
gaffer.
what a DP is for people who don't know.
The DP is the director of photography. He is basically a facilitator to the director. He helps organize and arrange camera setups, you know, in conjunction with camera department. He arranges the grip and electric department with the gaffer and the key grip, and develops the image in conjunction with what the director's vision is. That's the job of the director of photography. Creatively. Non-creatively, you are also, you know, the caretaker for those three departments. You know, your job is to also make sure that, you know, in certain shoots that, you know, maybe, you know, the UPM, you know, the assistant director aren't really in that mode of like considering what's crew's welfare. You're also doing that. You're also a business person. The director, a lot of the times, you know, especially coming up. I mean, once you're at the top end, you know, you're DP and, you know, on a Marvel film, you don't need to do that kind of business because the producers are doing that business for you. You're with that director. The director's already established and known, but when you're coming up, that's when you need to be the salesman. And
let's talk really quickly about how your social media can help you.
Social media is for me personally, now actors, it's different than even crew, and I think it's more aggressively different for actors. A lot of ways, social media is a way to let everybody know that you're still alive. Because this isn't an industry or a world anymore in which phones are just, you know, like, I'm going to go call somebody. No, I'm going to send them a Facebook message.
Right.
And so being alive in that. I'm not extremely active in social media. I sort of opt out of that direction, but my social media platforms are direct messaging. I use it a lot for messaging.
Right.
As you know, I message with you.
Right.
You know, and I message with hundreds of people. Privately, I don't do random posts, you know, a lot of things like that I don't get into.
Right.
I find that social media for me is work best as a means to archive.
Okay.
I can archive and group
film
people, and then all I have to do is send out messages or what look like a public message, but it's actually locked to
certain
a group of people.
Yeah.
Could be 150 people in that group. Maybe they're all crew members.
Right.
Hey guys, I'm looking for this. It's actually only going to them.
Right.
Nobody else in my feed sees that.
Right.
So that's useful. It's almost like for me an Excel spreadsheet of the old days. Or
I do almost everything through my social media. I'm like, even like my updates and things on the studio. I'm like, you know, go to our Facebook page, because with the website, it's hard. It seems harder to get it up there. I can do it like so fast and keep it moving. You know, so people are.
And it's a good way to let people know that you've got something going on.
Right.
You know, or you want people here. You know, here doing this. I'm part of a few different, you know, groups that, you know, like Shane's Inner Circle,
right?
The Southeast Ambassador,
and my husband Diego is a part of that too. You guys have been able to work
Diego's
together.
one of the members. Austin Lewis from a couple of your segments ago. And so I kind of organize and structure that. We have our own private Southeast group. Once you're an Inner Circle member, I invite you into the Southeast group, and then that gives you heads up of what's going on in the events, what's the next thing coming up, so on and so forth. Plus networking for business,
right?
You know, business development, especially in the DPs. You know, somebody's working on a commercial. Hey, I need somebody to help me do this. You know, there's a whole group of people that you trust that you'll pull in.
Right. I have a funny story. I've already shared this with you, but I'll share it with the audience, and it's about Diego. So my husband is Colombian, and when he first came to the United States, he wasn't speaking very good English. So we were doing a feature film that my studio organized, and he kept telling me that he needed Mac. And so I said, I was talking to the other guys on my team, and I'm like, he needs a Mac. We have to get him a Mac. So we end up bringing a Mac over to, I just spit, nice, over to his house. And he was like, so, you know, he took it. He already has a Mac, so we didn't know why he needed a Mac. He didn't know why he needed that Mac. He didn't know why it arrived, but he was saying that he needed you. Right. We never figured it out until afterwards. And then that's an ongoing cute story.
Right.
Obviously, his English is a lot better. So, but anyway, thank you, Mac, for being on the show and coming on and just sharing a little bit of information. Love to have you back on again throughout the year somewhere. You know, this show is really about helping to educate people on different areas. It doesn't have to be the film industry, but, you know, we're centered in the film industry, so the majority of it is about the film industry. So thank you for being a gift. Thank you for being willing to give your knowledge to other people. If you have any advice to give to an upcoming filmmaker, what would be just the most important thing that you want to say?
Upcoming and even more advanced, regardless of kind of where you're at.
Okay.
Never stop networking. You know, we're always confronted with projects for free. I've been doing this now 10 years, and I'm still doing free projects.
Yes.
Because you don't know who you're going to meet that either you may want to use on a project later, or that they might pull you all of a sudden onto something extremely important. So network, build your business, and then go to events. Do events, get involved in communities. And if you don't like what's going on there, be the change you want to see in the industry.
That's going to be it. Be the change you want to be in the industry. That's going to be your, I have golden nuggets that I put at the end. That's your golden nugget. Yes, I love that. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. And if you guys have any questions for Mac, in the comments below, most of our guests are willing to answer questions for you. So come on, ask a question. If not, say hello to him. You're a part of our show too. Thank you. We hope we inspired and educated you.